The following program is intended for mature audiences.
It's the music, movies, and shows you love.
As if we care.
And hate.
You ain't gonna like it none.
And love to hate.
I didn't expect that at all.
This is The Broken Remote.
And coming to you live on tape on April 19th, Wednesday, 2023, it's Rich Eggy, and I am just going to rip through the entire beginning here because my partner and I have just been riffing for like 15 minutes. But unfortunately, nobody's going to understand or know what we said because Stupido forgot to turn on the goddamn computer. So I forgot to hit unpause. And then we were like in the middle. We were just kicking ass.
We were getting the vibe was
straight
good.
diesel.
The vibe was so good.
Oh, straight diesel. And then all of a sudden I look up and I'm like, why is there no purple on my fucking computer? And there's no audio waves. Oh, because the pause button didn't go off when I fucking hit it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Fuck me. Right?
That's so beautiful.
Asshole.
Oh my god, dude, that's hilarious.
It's brutal, but I will just start with this, and this is the question that all of Bud Light fans want to know, and we're asking themselves, and now Disney fans, well, specifically Star Wars fans, are asking themselves, and that is, what the fuck? And so, we're not going to rehash everything we've talked about, but Mandalorian finale is upon us, and I repeat, what the fuck?
I'm just going to repeat my joke, too. Just like Mandalorian fans and the writers of the show, I'm tired.
Yes.
Okay? So tired.
I am now tired of myself for being unable to produce an In the Basement podcast that you do every fucking week. Holy Christ,
I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed we've made it this far with this without this having happened before. That's like we deserve an achievement for that, dude.
It actually has happened with my brother when I was doing the broken helmet one time, and I think we were way farther in, and I think I just canceled the whole thing.
Yeah, broken helmet. That's what Dave Filoni has, right? After this season, yeah.
Definite broken helmet.
Yeah. Definitely sign of a concussion somewhere based on how this went.
I feel like we all have a concussion after watching the finale. It was horrific. And we're probably not going to hit every single awesome thing we did in 15 minutes before.
Exactly.
But goddamn, it is really bad. It made no sense. Made none.
I mean, it's just to quickly highlight what we were going over. I mean, the villain in Mandalorian is just, I'm so tired. And I like the actor, whose name I'm still forgetting, even though we just said it 10 minutes ago.
Giancarlo something. Esposito?
Yeah, Esposito. I think that's it. But, he's just he's Gus from Breaking Bad in the Star Wars universe.
Yes!
And
he was awesome.
And he was good the first two seasons. And this third season, they're like, well, we could make, a cool original villain that plays off, our two protagonists that we have. That could be, a dark parallel to them. Or this bad guy from the show The Boys is pretty cool. What if we use that?
Oh, I forgot he's in The Boys, too.
He's in The Boys.
He's all over the place, right?
He's the same character, just everywhere.
And,
And he's a good actor.
And what was funny was the way that they designed this season in that he was captured but never found after the ship blew up. Then they had random X-Wing guy who I still will never know the name of. He's the Asian actor who's old, gray beard. He's a Republic guy pursuing the Outer Rim, which we'll talk about later.
We'll call him C. We'll call him C for now. Yeah,
so Pilot C, he's like, there's Beskar there in the...
I do not look like the president of China, no.
Did you see the clip I sent you? If you're out there in the world and you're a South Park fan, you've got to look up South Park behind the scenes, something to that effect, and watch Parker and Stone do the voices.
It is the most
behind the scenes.
There's no better time. Them doing. Oh, I'm sorry, Karu. I believe in you.
Do you want me to eat the cuttlefish?
Oh, the asparagus.
Oh, the asparagus. So it was the episode in South Park when they were imitating the Human Centipede, which, again, we should do an entire podcast on the Human Centipede. Have you seen it?
I mean, no, honestly, I have no urge, and I'm happy about that. I could go my entire life without seeing that movie.
It's so bad. I was a horror fan, and I was really hoping that it was something, and then it really was just god-awful.
The thing with the Human Centipede is, whoever made that movie just had his hand down his pants while making that movie the entire time. Like, I thought this was a horror movie. He's like, it is. I'm like, well, why are you doing that, Ted?
It was so bad. The whole thing was just sewing people's mouth to somebody else's ass and then feeding the first guy food.
Just that one really weird kid that everyone knew in middle school. Like, hey, that's Eric over there. Don't talk to Eric if you can help it. Just smile and wave. And he just sort of just fidgets down the hall every day. He's the guy who made the Human Centipede.
Right. And he didn't turn out to be Wes Craven. He didn't have himself a gigantic career with an entire library of horror movies that he penned. It was one dude.
Yeah, he got arrested in Boston for disturbing the peace one night and, coming on to an underage woman or something, or guy, who knows, based on what I've heard.
Right, he could be a girl right now. He could be, a girl, fuzzy or furry.
He's definitely one of those guys that dresses up with dog masks, that does one of those eyes wide shut parties, but not with connected individuals. It's just some random Starbucks barista who's like, yeah, I go to this sex dungeon every Tuesday.
and it's high every day when they go to work.
That's where Ted is. That's what he's doing now.
Who did it? Let's see. I'm trying to pull it up here. My internet, for some reason,
you're probably going to get his parole information if you look that up.
Tom Six. Tom Six was the director and the writer. Let's see if Tom Six has gone on to do anything else.
Tom Six is in prison.
Because
his
it looks like
$200,000.
Oh, here you go. You ready for this? Hold on. Wait.
My guess is not allowed within 100 feet of a playground.
Oh, hold on. He didn't just do the Human Centipede. He also did the Human Centipede, the Human Centipede 2, the Human Centipede 3.
What?
3 was the final sequence, and that was in 2015.
Final sequence?
He did 3 of them. The first sequence, the second sequence, or the first sequence, full sequence, and final sequence. That's what he's done for the past. He did that 2009 to 2015.
How do you put that on your taxes? Yeah,
I don't know.
You got a 1099. Hey, where'd your income come from? Funny you should ask. Have you seen the Human Centipede, the final sequence? Dude, I'm a big fan. Big fan. Yeah.
The final one? I saw the first one. What's the final one? Oh, I've done 3 of these.
Yeah. And now it's 9 people connected. I really wanted to wow people with this one. Yeah.
Well,
they're all up in there.
If you haven't seen the full sequence, they tried to reenact that in Star Wars last night or today with the Mandolorian finale, as we all just sat there attached to each other's rectums, just eating whatever came out the.
Well, to be fair, the person
Dave
at the very front of the line,
rear end.
Well, it goes Kathleen Kennedy, then Jon Favreau, then Dave Filoni, right? And then every single fan directly after that attached to Dave Filoni's anus, just taking whatever slop that we're just managing to get. Dude, I can't believe we tied this in. I'm very impressed with that.
I mean, here you go. It is the Disney Star Wars Human Centipede, and we are the last person attached.
Star Wars fans, would you prefer the vanilla paste or the cuttlefish and asparagus? Kathleen Kennedy, I want the vanilla paste. Did you say the cuttlefish and asparagus? Okay. And it just says a big season 3 on the bottom of that bowl as she's just scarfing it down. Oh no, Jon Favreau. It's going to be a lie.
No, do the asparagus. Do the Grogu, please. You want me to eat the Grogu, or do you want me to eat Din Djarin?
Yeah. More Bo-Katan? I'll have more Bo-Katan.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of Bo-Katan this season, a fucking whole plate full of her.
Dude, it's just, but we were talking about this before the Great Reset.
The Great Reset.
But dude, I'm so tired. I'm done with the show. And I will rewatch it to talk to you. If it weren't to be that we're shitting on it, I have no urge to watch it because I'm excited. I think the original, when you're going into season 3 after the Book of Boba Fett, where the only good episodes were, hey, what's going to happen in Mandalorian season 3? Here's a little potential highlight.
Sure.
And then instead it's just, you're like, how did you ruin it? How did you turn this show into a baby show for babies?
I know, and the fucking Grogu character is so past the point now with the baby cooing every single time.
No.
Him
He's
slamming the yes button and the no button.
Yes.
And walking around in this stupid Krang-esque imitation costume.
Yeah. I give it one more season, he's going to have the exact soundboard you do in front of him. Yeah, he's going to be doing.
That's how he's going to be talking to everybody. He's going to be like,
game over, man. It's game over.
Nobody likes me anymore. They're all sick and tired of Baby Yoda. I can't believe
what do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean we overexpose society to him? I don't understand. Marketing 101 is the more we shove it in your face, the more you love it, right?
It will be fantastic the day that everybody is like, fuck Grogu again. Get rid of this fucking guy.
I know. He was so below. Like, he was on me. He was like Minions, dude, where you couldn't get away from him. And eventually one day people went, dude, I can't stand these things anymore. Please get them away from me.
Right. He is there now. I'll tell you, I have not heard anybody talk about fucking Baby Yoda, and I can't even tell you how long. Other than people saying, I don't want to see him anymore.
Yeah, first off, they also started calling him by his real name, which is fucking Grogu. Like, that's your name for your character is Like, okay, marketing is clearly behind that. You need to you want to have a season without Grogu in it? Get the fuck out of here, you are. Like,
that's never happening.
Yeah, have you seen our Q4 with this little motherfucker on our balance sheet? Okay, no, he's going to be in there, and you're going to show him so much more.
Kathleen, I got an idea. We're going to do a season, but not with Grogu. We're going to give him off the Luke.
I didn't expect that at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then I guess we'll go back and we'll just we'll take him away from Luke Skywalker and we'll give him back to fucking Din.
That's okay. And also, okay, the clone vat thing with like the evil clone.
Oh yeah. Okay. So hold on. Let's before we go, let's just do a quick rewind. Because when we left, you had not seen the previous episode.
Yes.
So this all goes downhill because they decide
I'm so glad I was eating my Fruit Loops on Saturday morning while catching up on my favorite Saturday morning cartoon show, The Mandolorian.
It is. It's a fucking cartoon.
For ages 3 and up, because I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy, Rich.
We've said it, and I'll say it over and over again. They've turned this real live action Star Wars into a stupid cartoon.
It was like a vaguely, and I wouldn't call it like just for adults, this show, but I felt like it was for a more grown-up Star Wars audience is what they were aiming for.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah, and then like season 2, they made like a couple, I'll say I feel like here and there, but overall still solid. And this one was just so clearly, look at the pretty colors.
We're hanging out with my best friend, the Mandalorian.
You know what would be a really cool idea? Why don't we have Moff Gideon also in a Mandalorian costume? And we'll give him
Oh, that could be an action figure. We could make an action figure out of it.
You want to make him a really cool action figure? We'll just do a lot of fan service. So we'll put horns on his helmet.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and so it'll kind of be like Darth Maul, but it's not Darth Maul.
Oh, and you should make the chest plate look like it's Darth Vader's a little bit. Oh, that'd be so cool.
We'll do that in one costume, but then when we give him the Mandalorian costume, we'll do it different. That way we get 2 action figures.
Oh my gosh! Oh, the
Grand Moff Gideon, and then we'll get Darth Trooper.
Grand Moff Gideon. Yeah.
I mean, it is just mind-numbing how they fucked this show up this bad.
And the clone thing, like that's gonna pop up in like a later season because they're gonna get bored. And like, oh no, Gideon died, or he didn't because they didn't show him die in the explosion. Because remember, this is a baby show for babies. We can't show someone die. Or in any way, shape, or form. It's got to be but one of them is going to survive, and now we're going to have a Force-sensitive, evil, cloned Moff Gideon running around. And, like, they did this in a video game, like, years ago, and I told you about this, but, like, I'm sorry. But if you can make a clone Jedi army like that,
right?
Doesn't that kind of, like, mean you won?
Like, destroys everything else. And you know what? Let's just pause there because it's one of the notes that I wrote, and that is
we have notes. That's how serious we're taking. We got notes.
No, I just wrote down a couple of bullets because I wanted to hit on certain things.
It's okay. I did this for Ant-Man. It's good.
And so going back to last episode, because you had not seen it, they decided to bring Moff Gideon in out of nowhere. So we
I'm
discovered...
really glad that was built up all season. Remember how that was not built up all season, then all of a sudden he's just there?
Yeah, because we assumed he died, but we didn't find his body, and there's Beskar in the ship that was blown up. So maybe it was Mandalorians. There's going to be a big twist, and it's going to be...
I love that they had the Darksaber, and which was stupid they gave it to Bo-Katan. You're like
fucking
but
Darksaber.
I always thought that was going to be something. Okay, I guess you're going this direction. Which, by the way, this was like a George Lucas invention. Apparently, the Darksaber, because he was trying to come up with some weapon.
A new fucking toy to give to everybody.
Well, I mean, also, but it does look badass. I will say. I mean, when we're all 5 years old, we're all like, I have the legendary black dark lightsaber. Or something like that. We all say that. But and then he just breaks it, which to me was just Jon Favreau. That was the one cry of Jon Favreau's originality being fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy. Fuck you, no one gets it. No one gets it. It was supposed to go to my character. Fuck you.
Kathleen Kennedy's metaphoric death of Jon Favreau is just Giancarlo crushing fucking the Darksaber. Well, you know what? And that goes along with this, is that none of Mandalorian at this point makes any sense. None of it does. Right? So last week, out of nowhere, they bring back Moff Gideon. They decide to throw out all of the remnants of the Empire in your face.
Oh, I love that. Thank goodness.
They have the the brother of the actor of General Hux, play his father. I had no clue who that was.
Fun. That was so fun when I heard that. I loved that. Oh, my. I was like, oh, yes, please tie in Kathleen Kennedy's bullshit, please. I was able to pretend beforehand that this didn't exist, but now you're just...
Well, not only that, then they just change everything that you watch in episodes 4, 5, and 6, because this shadow council of the Empire that still exists and is trying to pull everything together, where you see General Hux's dad, is very diverse and has tons of chicks, which if you watch the first trilogy, I didn't see one girl in an Imperial outfit, not once.
No, listen, they're Nazis, but they're really ethical and culturally aware Nazis. That's what's important.
Where were they in 3 movies? I just want one.
Everyone remembers when Hitler was going around being like, yo, I don't think we have enough gender diversity on this board of Nazis overseeing my heinous war crimes I'm committing. Guys, we got to step this up a little bit. Ava Braun, get over here. Okay, you're now 5-star general, and you're in charge of... Let's see.
Give him something.
How into torture are you? Let's just see. Yeah, you go wild. Go wild. That's fun. And then people are going to go, you say what you will about Hitler, but you know what? Really progressive. Really progressive. I'm really glad that was their thought process.
Huge roads in for females.
I'm glad they're completely not missing the point of what a fucking space Nazi is. Yeah, because they're, first and foremost, they're like, well, we got to make sure,
But just keep the continuity, right? If there were no girls in the first 3 movies, I know that they're in the sequel trilogy, but that's also farther down the road. Okay, that'll give them some time to do their woke training in the First Order. But right now there wouldn't be any, because there wasn't any in the first 3 movies.
Just imagine, just Palpatine's like, I'm going to rule a new Dark Empire, but this time will be very gender inclusive. Make sure that one of my clones questions its gender and has at least 4 different pronouns it utilizes. And you go what?
I'm telling you,
we have more pressing matters, Mr. Emperor Palpatine.
This is Spaceballs 2.
Are you a bigot? I didn't realize I was talking to a Trump supporter.
Trump would be... Spaceballs 2 is being written as we're talking, by the way.
Wait, is it actually?
No, we're doing it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I was like, for a second, because I know they're making History of the World Part 2, and I saw Josh Gad was in it. I love.
I think they came out with it. I think it's on Hulu, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, please be good. Please be good.
Anyway, none of it made sense. So they have the Shadow Council, and there's Moff Gideon, and Moff Gideon has somehow...
I'm sorry, sir. We need to make sure we stop these men. Did you just assume my gender? I'm sorry, fellow space Nazi. I was trying to talk about how we had to enslave this group of people, but no, let's go down. It's just so, I don't know. It's
But then the technology.
Maybe I'm getting too into it. Maybe it's good that
it doesn't make any
evil.
sense.
Like, know.
It's bad television, right? We talked about bad television, and here it is. The dialogue sucks. This dialogue was written by like a 10-year-old. You know,
yeah.
At the beginning of the season finale, when they're running up and down the hills, and Din contacts Bo-Katan, and they go back and forth on their communicators. It is just, how are you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm here with the child. I've got him. I have to get my troops out. We are stuck, and I have to save them. Okay, good luck with that. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Did you... Like, do you think this is the end of Mandalorian? Do they have another season? I'm assuming they have another season planned,
I would imagine they got another season, yeah, for sure.
Okay, because I was like, because the ending for this one felt like it could be, like, they're going back to square one to, like, whatever the start of season 2 basically was, where Mando's toured the galaxy with Grogu by his side, and then just, like, solving... Exactly. Yeah, cue the Saturn music where, like, Grogu and him are running like Shaggy and Scooby. But it's just
when they did the camera fade and they circled in on Grogu, who then flipped the fucking frog in the lake, I wanted to throw my fucking controller through the television.
I love that they're like, oh, see, we're playing homage to the original trilogy because they did this, and it's like, will you shut the fuck up for 5? Like, you don't need to keep doing this because the first trilogy did it. You like if you respected the material, I would like it a lot more, but clearly you're not with your First Order bullshit that completely invalidates the original trilogy.
And the material makes no sense, right? Like, nothing about this makes sense.
Oh, next you're saying that the First Order... Oh, by the way, also...
the First Order's coming in. Get ready, everybody. Strap the fuck in, because the First Order is right around the corner. Because right now, they inserted all this Moff Gideon Dark Troopers, which don't show up after this, plus the now the Mandalorian Troopers, plus successful cloning that, as he told you, is Force sensitive, so they could improve on the imperfection that I had. Well, guess what? We don't see that ever again, so why don't we see it? Oh, that's right, because fucking Din went in there and destroyed it all, and then they just came into Mandalore and blew everything up. So.
And one of them is going to have survived, and you're just like, okay, that'll be a villain, I'm just assuming, because you're not going to, like, why come up with an original character?
No. I'm in a complete disagreement with you there. I think that this is done. Yeah, I think Giancarlo's done. All of this is done. There is no more. I think, because this was successful cloning, which they never got with Palpatine, right? So, and then the brain fried. True, yeah. That's the reason, I think, that they spent that whole entire episode brain frying whatever his face was. Dr. Pershing.
Yeah.
They destroyed Dr. Pershing because he successfully did the Jedi cloning experiments.
Yeah, okay.
But remember that the Emperor's all fucked up. He's not successful. So you can't have this piece in there and then have a shitty Emperor.
I managed to survive through weird matters, and now I'm back, as is denoted in this text crawl of Episode 9, because J.J. Abrams had no plan.
Well, and... going back to Fortnite, they did an introduction to Palpatine through Fortnite. They did something in the background audio saying the Emperor is back.
Imagine ruining a show because you had no idea and the show's doing well and you say, well, now you have to tie in this now lore-accurate reveal of our main villain in the next trilogy through Fortnite. And they go, but this is this is my show. I made this show about my character who I really like, and I don't really want to reference the First Order if I can help it because this is like years beforehand. It's like, well, now you're going to age it up a little bit, and you're going to talk about the First Order, or I'm going to make Mandalorian get in lingerie and do a pole dance for 6 episodes to milk money out of his ass.
Well, it depends if it's a good pole dance. I'm always down for a good pole dance.
It's not a good pole dance. You saw this season. It was just Pedro Pascal crying, being like, "Can I go back to Last of Us, please?"
I have it going in the background, and just so that I can pick out scenes that I just overly despised.
Yeah.
And the R4D4 scene where all the little tiny toasters come after him was so patently stupid. I mean, not that everything in the episode wasn't, but God, when they started coming around, I'm like, this isn't even what is it called when you give shit to the fans because they want it? Fanfare?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Whatever.
Did you see
this isn't even fan service. I said it before. This isn't fan service that anybody wanted.
Dude,
Nobody wanted the black toasters for the Death Star.
It's wild, dude. But like, did you see the new the new thing about the Rey movie that's coming out, where Rey? It's 15 years later. Rey is trying to restart the Jedi Order, and literally, I read that and just went, "That's what Luke was doing, and you wrote him, and nobody likes Rey." You just took that plot line and moved it to your character.
Yeah. I mean, just redoing shit that other people could have done.
Oh, look, wait, here's this document that George left behind that he said, please do this for my character Luke, that fans love and are desperate to see what's been happening with him for the last 40 years. This is my character's plot line now.
Well, no, you know what we're really going to do? We're really going to tease all the fans by doing a super awesome reveal of a de-aged Luke Skywalker, and we're going to pull on everybody's heartstrings and do it in a way that really is awesome, only to follow that up with more teasing of that character with Grogu, thinking that you're going to get, oh shit, we might get like a year of Luke Skywalker here in all kinds of different ways. Can they really do that? That would be a lot of fun. Oh no, Grogu's going back.
Whoa. You fans want something? Get the fuck out of here. No. This isn't
I guess Luke Skywalker's gone now because he just left. Never to be mentioned again.
Now he's gonna fail at his job of starting the Jedi Order, and he's gonna try to murder his nephew, and then all of his other apprentices are gonna die off screen who you'll never meet because, why have an original plotline? Like, what if we just shafted every character that you grew up with? Like, I'm excited for the new fucking Indiana Jones movie where it turns out that Indiana Jones was getting really handsy with the young women at his house for the last 20 years. And
they fucking
now
blew the whistle on him.
Yeah, they're like, Indy, if you want to be able to if you want to be able to still have this wing of the library named after you, you're going to need to fetch us this dial of destiny because you're kind of a fucking perverted creep, which I'm sure they'll call him throughout the movie. And he'd be like,
were you and Tiffany in the office drinking from the chalice of Jesus Christ together?
What do you mean? No, it's what we always did.
With the door locked after hours. We always did that back in the day.
I understand that you casually put your hand around the shoulder of a student who was crying. Now that, Mr. Jones, Dr. Jones, you do understand that constitute assault at this university, don't you? What are you talking about? Well, I'm afraid. Yeah. We're going to introduce you to our new character. Her name is Montana Smith, and she will be replacing you as the new Indiana Jones character for the next trilogy that we're going to fart out. And we're going to ruin your legacy, and I don't know.
She's a girl, and she's Latino.
Yeah, and Shia LaBeouf is dead. There you go. All right. Mission accomplished. We saved Indiana Jones, everybody. Aren't they happy about us? You just see trash fire in the background as Kathleen Kennedy just stares absent-mindedly as there's like a siren off in the distance. It's so crazy.
A disaster. It's a disaster. I don't understand it. I don't know how. It definitely, to me, we talked about Favreau last week basically saying, like, I'll get this off and then I'll give it to you. But there was something about the end of season 2 that felt final in his, creative input into the show.
In the same way that I choose not to acknowledge episodes 7 through 9 as being canon.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Even though Disney
wants
to put a gun to your head until you do.
I'm mentally choosing. I mean, they're clearly trying to make it canon based on their bullshit, but they can't make me think that. So fuck you, Disney, with your alternate universe. I'll do what DC Comics does. I'm just rebooting it for them. Fuck you guys.
I'm waiting for the multiverse here because there was a lot of rumors of the multiverse coming to Star Wars for them to redo the sequel trilogy.
Redo the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, that was stories that came out maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, but they...
Oh, no, then that would be her admitting fault and that she failed, and she's Kathleen Kennedy's not going to do that. They're going to need, like, some new fresh-faced person to come in and be like, okay, I'm cleaning house, boys and girls. Let me tell you what's going on here. And he's going to do like some Nintendo Direct on YouTube for an hour being like, this is out. We hate this. We're keeping the prequels in because you kind of need those, and we're just going to honor George because I guess that's what you psychopaths want. Rey is dead to all of us. Finn's a Jedi now. Finn's doesn't exist in this new movie, but he's a Jedi. Just say that because that would be cool for him, and we're sorry.
Yeah,
but
here's another part that I just got up there watching. Din Djarin kicks like 10, what do you want to call them, Mandalorian troopers' asses in close quarter combat because none of them can just fire a gun. He took them all out, and it was just stupid. Like, I know he did it 2 at a time. That's why they had the whole the shields in there, so they couldn't say, well, no, he would have gotten outnumbered. Well, no, not 2 people to 1. And so it was like, I'm taking on 2. But it was just, like the close quarter combat like made me throw up in my mouth. It was like so dumb.
It's so interesting though because now that you pointed that out, didn't this season just feel like the Book of Boba Fett? I
feel like it was worse. Like, as bad as the Book of Boba Fett was, this season was worse.
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett was bad because, Mandalorian or Mando, he was what you wanted for a Boba Fett show. Like, that's exactly what you were expecting, and they couldn't do that again, so they did whatever dumb concept was for Boba Fett show. But I wasn't excited for it, I was excited for Mandalorian. I got into that show. Season 3 comes along, and I go, oh, they're ruining it. Like, there's something about if there's a bad taste in my mouth already, or I'm not expecting anything and it's a bad taste, versus I enjoyed this and now you ruined it. Yes. It just makes it worse. I'm speaking nonsense, but this makes sense.
I understand exactly what you're saying is because if it had just sucked, you wouldn't have cared. But the fact that it was something that you liked, and then when it got ruined, you just punch out almost immediately because you know it's not coming back, especially the way that this fucking show went.
Oh, you like brownies? You like this chocolate cake I made you? Oh, man, it's delicious. Well, what if I just took a dump on it? And you go, well, right. You do that. Like, this is delicious chocolate cake. Please stop. Can I just have this? No, you want more of it, don't you? Here it is. And you go, please, why? Why you like this?
And here's an imitation chocolate cake that you can eat that's not nearly as tasty, but you'll always have the memories of this other one that was awesome.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Our 500 different writers on this show that are shoving their forearms up John and Dave Filoni's rectums just to make them dance the way we want. They're saying it's phenomenal. Okay, marketing says it's great. We're putting more Grogu in. You love Grogu. Don't you remember the face
I am so done with Grogu, but we are going to get nothing but Grogu in season 4 because now, as this season has wrapped up, they end it by basically, I guess they're just going to do away with the rest of the Mandalorians, right? They're going to say, we set them up on Mandalore. They're going to, bring this dead planet back to life.
Which, by the way, didn't they say in Book of Boba Fett, I'm sorry, last I checked, it was the planet was basically completely destroyed as a war casualty, and that's why Mandalorians were scattered everywhere.
Right, and then as they said here in this, they go through and they were like, oh, it's been blown to pieces, you can't do anything. And then they went, they're like, oh, don't go to Mandalore, you can. There's, I guess, radiation, or it was ruined. And then they went through, and remember when he first landed, he was like, it's lies, you can go there. It's destroyed, but you could still land on the planet.
You could hear the writer's room going so what are we going to do about this Mandalorian? Do we want to bring the planet back? Because we said it's destroyed, but we want to have him go back for the waters or something. That could be a cool concept. Here's an idea. Shut up. How about it's fine? It's fine? Status quo. We're going back to the status quo. We can't have any Yes, there's planetary war and bombs that could be dropped on a planet, but what if that did that was just chill after 20 years? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And
remember how you still can't go back to what's that place? Chernobyl? Remember how you still can't go there?
Right, right. No. Chernobyl and Mandalore have nothing in common because
Chernobyl in space.
Next week on HBO Max, Mandalore's at Chernobyl. So, but they're flying all around, and here's another letdown. everybody and their brother was of the assumption there was going to be some kind of twist, and a lot of it was that the armor, whoever
I saw that. Yeah,
was going to be like she was going to be the mother of Bo-Katan or something, or she was going to be a traitor. And
the traitor one was the one I saw, and you know how I knew that wasn't going to happen? Neither of those were going to happen? Because that would take, like, the smallest modicum of effort, and that's it.
Yeah.
Just, like, no one in that was ChatGPT writing that script where everyone else, like John and Dave Filoni, are chained in a corner, Kathleen Kennedy with her feet up on a desk going like, what's episode 8 like, ChatGPT? Thank you for asking what episode 8 of The Mandalorian season 3 will be like. I think that Din Djarin will go back to Mandalore and save as Bo-Katan becomes the new leader of the Mandalorians and clones and bad guy.
Yes.
You're like, do you have any original ideas? Are you just going to build off things that we already did?
No.
Yes.
No. No. So no original ideas. Yes.
Yes.
You're just going to reuse all old stuff. Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't respond to that answer because I think something might be culturally appropriate. You go, what? What is happening here?
Oh, here we go. Now on scene, as I have this going on in the background, is Moff Gideon appearing in all of his Mandalorian armor glory. So, but it's not just Mandalorian glory, it's also the Dark Trooper glory, because if you had headphones on and you listened to the audio, as he is fighting with Bo-Katan and against Mando, Din, they're always making like mechanical sounds, like there's. Not only is he in a suit, but the suit is amplified with, I guess, mechanical add-ons that make him so strong, which, when you talked about the Darksaber breaking, is why his simple man hand was able to take that hilt and just smash it into a million pieces. Because whatever this suit is, not only is it Mandalorian armor, but it's also amplified with Dark Trooper technology, which is like, and nobody had this after this. Nobody. This all went away. This all went away because he didn't share it with anybody in the Empire, and then obviously they blew the shit out of Mandalore.
It just devalued so much of what was cool about the first season, and then like the Beskars are like what makes the Mandalorian kind of special, except I guess that he won. They couldn't make like a different looking. Like, why is it just got to be bad guy version of Mando's armor? Like, you couldn't come up with something kind of cool for fuck's sake.
Right, and then he tries to explain it, and it's just, oh god, you know.
Oh, that's what I love. I love when they explain why it looks like completely identical. It's not because we're not creative. No. You're wrong. You're wrong.
And when he's in these fight scenes, like that's when the Giancarlo thing doesn't work out. You know, he should have been like a 30s, late 30s, early 40s, like a buff, like a I don't know, kind of like an athletic buff dude.
Oh, are you saying he should have been like age appropriate?
He should have been like a fighter or something. Like why? Why Giancarlo Esposito? Like it didn't make sense.
It just, I guess, because he just pulls up being a villain well. But the thing is, like, why don't you?
But not this villain. He's talking, and his English is too vocabulary filled for this show. It's just dumb.
Let's see. Pedro Pascal, he is... How old is he? Show me his age.
Pedro's probably like 48.
He's 48, okay. And Jean...
Carlo's probably 57. Taking guesses
Giancarlo Esposito, let's see. He's 64. Like, you can't find... like, you can't find someone a little more, like, in Pedro Pascal's age range to, like, be an actual physical threat. Like, I'm sorry, but... Like you get to like some point in your 60s, and a light breeze can start to knock you over. And I mean, he doesn't look like a frail 60-year-old, but he's still in his 60s, dude.
Yeah, and like he wouldn't. His methodology for trying to.
He's not a bad villain either. Like he was good in the first 2 seasons.
No, but not as a fighter. As a fighter.
Yeah, he was like the Machiavellian guy who's behind the scenes doing his.
Who made Dark Troopers.
He's doing this with his fingers where he pats them together, kind of like, haha, I have a sinister plan. And
he would be all about strategery. He wouldn't be in the trenches. He wouldn't be a trenches guy. Now, I don't know if they didn't want to ruin Admiral Thrawn's, introduction into this world as
that
he's
was the
that
other
guy.
one I saw. Yeah, Admiral Thrawn, who, for the uninitiated, which is probably like, I don't know, 3 of our 6 viewers. I was going to say, if any of my family members are listening, ask my brother Harrison. He knows all about Thrawn. But he's like this fan favorite Star Wars villain.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Like everyone loves him, and now I can't wait to see how they ruin him. Even though I did see the actor they cast apparently, and he looks very cool.
That mentality that you just said, I can't wait to see how they ruin him. That has become my default thought every time there's something Star Wars related. How are you gonna fuck this up? Mm-hmm. Because I haven't seen them do anything good, and when I did, it was Mandalorian or this season of Andor.
Well, then they fucked it. Well, the thing is with Mandalorian,
then they drove it into the ground.
They pulled an M. Night Shyamalan twist with Mandalorian, because what you think is going to happen is they're going to take something you love and ruin it. With Mandalorian, what they did is they gave you something to love, and they ruined it. They added an extra step there. You're like, wow.
Which
this hurts.
How do you take something that you finally made good and then just fucking blow it up? It's beyond infuriating. There had to be somebody along the lines that was like, you know what? I've just read these scripts, and they suck. The dialogue sucks. The settings feel small. The fight seems stupid. Like, nobody's going to really enjoy, Moff Gideon having an all-dark Mandalorian dark trooper suit and then destroying the Darksaber. Like none of this makes sense. And then Kathleen Kennedy be like, get the fuck out of my office. This is what we're going with.
I feel like it must have just been constant gaslighting, and I'm not sure what the culture's like in that office, but I feel like if you go against whatever some higher-up producer or Kathleen Kennedy says, because I really don't think this is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau's fault. Like, yes, they're credited as writing some episodes.
Filoni, yes. Favreau, no. I'm with you. I think Favreau's just there by, he's attached to this in name only. He's an I know, right?
I think what's happening, because, like, remember with what was episode 8, the one with they ruined Luke Skywalker? Which one was that called?
Oh, Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, yeah, that garbage.
We did a whole podcast on that specifically, right? Or did we just do it on Star Wars? I don't remember.
I think it was episode 9, because episode 9 was worse, even though I did hate Last Jedi, because at least Last Jedi was trying to be original.
I guess.
It's the worst.
Poorly original.
Exactly. But, like, apparently for The Last Jedi, they gave Rian Johnson just full reign.
Yeah, carte blanche.
They're like, here's a blank check. Do whatever you want with the biggest franchise of all time.
Which is what ruined everything.
And then he's like, okay. And then they realize later, oh, that was a horrible idea. Oh, we should not have done that. We should not have let one dude who's made 2 movies with Bruce Willis just do whatever he wants to this gigantic franchise without any background hearsay. And so now I'm assuming they are drastically overcorrecting. And so they have 50 producers who have to sign off at any given moment. Breathing down the neck of anything that's potentially popular.
What's really funny is that the same feeling I got watching The Last Jedi is the same feeling I got watching season 3 of Mandalorian, which is you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. How did this happen?
Yeah.
That's what it was. The same thing. Like, you're taking this story and you're fucking it up, and I don't understand how this is happening, especially with Favreau there.
Yeah, it was a mixture, because there's you're ruining these things that I like. Number one, that was if I could give a feeling to a movie, episode 8 was like, hey, let's take your childhood and ruin it, and episode 9 was we have no confidence in ourselves, so we're just going to put as much fair stuff we possibly can, because we don't want to we're going to make the most bland movie we possibly can, because we just want to not upset fans again like we did with this last one.
Right, and so we're going to throw everybody possible in there, even though it won't make any sense, like Lando Calrissian, and then explain him away in some...
Because he's the one they haven't killed off somehow so far. He's the one original cast member. Chewie's dead. No, not really. We'll show you a scene later. We don't want you to get angry
Right.
with us.
And then we'll backfill anything with comic books and novels and other shit.
And Mandalorian. Yeah,
and Mandalorian,
and it's their fault now. This is their problem.
So, the Mandalorian episode ends, and it's horrific. Everybody dies. Giancarlo dies. They take back Mandalore.
Dies. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right, unless he doesn't. Mandalorians take back their planet.
And listen, remember, I'm a baby show. I'm a baby, and this is a baby show for babies, and so you can't have people die. No.
Oh yeah, it's all off camera, right?
No, John he goes into the big Mandalorian place in the sky.
In the sky, yes.
He goes, yeah.
Along with all of his clones, the successfully grown Force-sensitive clones, because we can't have that. That way, obviously the Emperor can still be a screwed-up experiment.
Here's my other thing, though. Why even add that part in?
About those
Force-sensitive clones. Like, if you're just going to, get the guy's mind wiped or something and have unsuccessful clones, why even add that? Like, just have the guy say, I'm trying to, just have him making clones, and he's like, it's impossible to make a Force-sensitive clone, severe, horrible things happen when you try to do it. And that would have been like, oh, there's your explanation. Okay, that's why Palpatine looks fucked up. There you go. Boom.
Well, because I think what's going to happen, and this is kind of where I was going, is that I think now, in the future seasons, because now as this ends, Grogu and his dad, because he adopted him, because like everything else, this is the way. Can we stop saying this is the way? Because it doesn't make any sense anymore.
No, you can't not have that on a mug, and
this
that's
is
part
the way.
of marketing.
This is the way.
Merchandising. Have you ever seen Spaceballs? What do you do?
That's what I'm saying. Merchandising. This whole thing is
the Spaceball poster, the Spaceball cereal, the Spaceballs flamethrower. The kids love it.
Dude, season 3 has become Spaceballs the movie, right? It's just all merchandising. As they just, this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. More baby Grogu.
You could do actually Spaceballs too, now that I think about it, with this is baby yogurt right here.
That's right.
See?
But we have to include the Emperor, like you were talking about, who is going to be completely woke, right? A woke Emperor and baby yogurt and all the rest of it. But, now
he may be a totalitarian and a dictator, but he also makes sure that everyone goes to their mandatory 6 hours of HR training so that you can respect, the cultural differences and why it's offensive to use a very offensive voice to, some coworker who's from a different place than you are.
Sure, and have to go through the stormtroopers. All have to go through microaggression training.
Yeah, exactly.
So that they don't.
Hey, I
upset
see
anybody.
here on your HR sheet that you actually haven't completed the training. You need to check a few more boxes and do a mandatory half-hour reevaluation check. So could you do that? We're getting slaughtered by a Jedi right now. Yeah, but,
Make sure you do it then after you're done with the Jedi, if you're still breathing, because we have to get that done. It has to get done by the 30th.
Yeah. Listen, HR, the only thing more influent with the dark side here in the evil empire than the Emperor is HR, and they are quite upset with you. Just all of them with their blue hair are completely shaved.
And non-binary, you can't
non-binary.
tell. It's like Pat from SNL. You don't know if it's a boy or a girl. It doesn't matter. It's just an alien.
Yeah, they're getting in some Twitter argument with J.K. Rowling about pronouns. And you're just like, hey, Mace Windu's a clone now, and he's slaughtering people, and he's evil for no reason. Like, well, actually, that's really good that he's doing that because, and you go, actually, why not that be an episode of the Mandalorian season 4?
That could be, but that's not what we're going to get, because what we're going to get now is Din.
It's too flavorful. It's too flavorful. The only seasoning I like is just salt. In fact, I don't want a meal. I just want salt. That's the only thing I want.
That's what you're going to get, a lot of it, because now you have Din Djarin and Din Grogu, because that's his new name, because he's adopted, and they are going to, going forward, do bits for the New Republic. And they're going to go around the Outer Rim. The Outer Rim, which was talked about, they're going to go about the Outer Rim doing jobs off the record for the New Republic. And why would they want to set that up? Unless, obviously, we're going to start going into the First Order creation going forward. Because the First Order started in the Outer Rim.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yes, the plan of Palpatine based on the books, and I might fuck this up, so Star Wars fans that listen that are like, that's not it, Rich, or whatever.
Clearly someone didn't do his take home and get his highlighter out while he was taking these notes, for God's sake.
But from my understanding and what I do know, that yes, the Emperor had established out in the Outer Rims some fringe parts of the Empire that were to try to reinvent themselves should he ever die. And so when you hear Outer Rim and Empire, well, that's where the First Order comes from. And nobody knew of them because they were out in the Outer Rim, and there was no real coverage there.
That's how this massive dictatorship with all of this old technology from the Empire that's even more powerful with their sun-sized fucking planet-destroying device they just sprang up in Dakota. Yeah, remember when that gigantic cult just came out of nowhere and just took over the country? Yeah, it happens all the time.
Well, so I would think that going into Season 4, you're going to hear about cloning, and they're going to be trying to get their hands on Moff Gideon's cloning technology, which they're not going to be able to find, right? And they'll explain that away as to why they weren't successful with Palpatine. So there'll be some kind of Palpatine bullshit in there. You're going to see Hux. Hux's dad, right? He'll be in there somewhere. They're just going to slowly feed you the information you don't want as to why 7, 8, and 9 make sense. And that's what's going to happen now. And that's what the whole setup was to me. And so, I mean, I think we'd be better off creating Spaceballs 2 based on all the whiffs that we had in Season 3. But unfortunately, I don't think that's what we're going to get.
No, it's not. You're believing too much in what they could possibly do there.
God, the woke Star Wars spoof would be fantastic. It really would. Because it's not that far off when you look at what they've done anyway. Oh, my God. And how about at the very end when they did even more fan service when IG-11 came back and he is the new sheriff of the fucking planet that they're on. That Grief Kargan runs.
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
You got to throw a little something in there.
Yeah, because, why would you have a character die off on screen? That would make you feel something or make you appreciate that much more when they're actually there and gone. No, I'm a baby. This is a baby show for babies, as we talked about it. It's just so, why? Why you got to do it this way?
I don't know. Again, I go back. Much like Anheuser-Busch fans, what the fuck? What was this?
I still got to get caught up on the Anheuser-Busch thing, dude, by the way. I was vaguely aware they had the that fun person being that one ad. I'm assuming that's what it was. Right?
Dylan whatever. Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney?
People can say whatever they want about that person. That dude is like the clearest narcissist biggest narcissist I've ever seen in my life. And people are like, no, they're so brave and strong. You go, this. Anyway.
Well, I am personally, I'm just fascinated because it's like a caricature of a doofy 1920s woman. Like he's got sleeves on, got the gloves that go up.
Don't you want to go to the Flapper Show?
You want to go? You want to go over to the Speakeasy? I was just going to say Speakeasy. Shit, that's funny. Yeah, you want to go to the Speakeasy and play some cards? Maybe smoke a cigar.
I want to make sure I can go out here before the coppers come along. Don't you want a nice ice cold Budweiser? It's my favorite type of beer.
So it is the pearl necklace he had on the fucking. It was just, or she had on in the thing.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Whatever.
But
it was just, and then you have.
You know what? She'll star in Mandalorian season 4. She'll be a Mandalorian.
That's right. Well, we did get into the Lizzo and the Jack Black thing, right? We did talk about how stupid those cameos were because they didn't make any sense. So why not throw Dylan?
Phenomenal.
They'll do it just to piss off.
I see here the Mario movie's putting Jack Black in it.
Oh, are they? Yeah,
we should put he's Bowser, but it's just
he is Bowser. Okay.
Yeah, he's Bowser, but they're just like, what if we put Jack Black in our TV show?
Well, think about it.
Mario's doing it. Yeah.
Disney might just put the Mulvaney kid in there because they hate DeSantis. So they were like, you know what? We'll really piss him off.
Fun.
We'll stick him in Star Wars.
Grand Moff DeSantis. That's the next villain.
Grand Moff DeSantis. Oh
Grand Moff DeSantis. Yeah.
Spaceballs 2 has been written over the course of this past 50 minutes.
It's so simple. We're barely trying. It's so easy, dude.
So you have Grand Moff DeSantis, Baby Yogurt. You have
no plain.
You have the
plain
politically
average,
correct
everyday yogurt.
Right. The super woke emperor. The Stormtrooper HR that's always up their ass. The only thing we haven't talked about is like who the heroes would be, right? So
that's a good question.
It would have to be like we did Baby Yogurt, right? So it'd have to
Baby Yogurt.
It'd have to be a spoof off a Mandalorian, right? Like
that's
we all
know
the way that
it
would be.
For Din Grogu, what's going to happen is he'll be like a television character. He'll fuck off for a little bit, and then eventually they'll have some project in the future where there'll be a blaster that'll save the current hero of some future Star Wars project, and then the camera will like pan over, and it'll stop, and you'll see nobody there, and then it'll go down, and you'll see a little Mandalorian with ears poking out of the helmet.
Fucking like, beautiful.
My name, Din Grogu, I am here to save day. I must, and then he'll pull out the darksaber.
You know that there is going. I mean, and I think we talked about it. There's going to be a moment where they show you there's going to be a jump 20, 30 years from now, and they're going to show you the adult Baby Grogu, and he's going to be fucking talking. And
he's going to talk. It's going to be Frank Welker's voice or some other person just doing an impression of him. Not Frank Welker. Was it Frank Welker? No, it's the other. Whoever did Miss Piggy does. By the way, just for everyone to know, Miss Piggy's voice is Yoda's voice, so you're welcome for that.
Frank Oz, baby.
You're Frank Oz. That's it. Frank Welker's the other guy.
Frank Oz, master puppeteer. Master puppeteer from the Muppets, basically.
The Muppets, yeah.
And a lot of stuff. So, also was the cop in, have you seen Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd?
He was the cop?
He was the cop. He was like, this is PCP. You ever see what this does to kids? He's the one that's flashing the fucking, the bag of angel dust in Aykroyd's face. He's like, I've never seen that before in my life.
That's real?
Yeah, that's Frank Oz, man. That's Frank Oz not doing puppeteering. But yeah, I mean...
Well, that's messing with my head a lot. I never noticed that before.
Yeah, he's in that movie. So when they do the credits at the end, they're like, it says Frank Oz or whatever. So, and I don't know if he was in anything else, and I don't know why he's in there. I'm sure he was friends with Aykroyd.
How is Frank Oz still alive? Frank Oz looks like he was 4,000 years old.
Oh, he's got to be super old at this point.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Jim Henson died first? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be chopping this up. It was Henson's creation, but I'm pretty sure that Oz was like the master puppeteer of all the shit. So, which is why he did Yoda and then Jabba the Hutt. I don't know if he did Jabba the Hutt or he came up with the idea for the puppeteering, but I think he was involved in that as well. But whatever, I could be talking out my ass. And there's other Frank Oz and Star Wars aficionados that know way more than me. But back to the problem at hand. I don't know, what else that we could really say about this that we haven't talked about. I thought the fight scene sucked. I thought dialogue was terrible. Nothing made sense in it. It just kind of felt small. It felt like TV.
How do you really feel about it? I'm just curious.
Here's the biggest. There was, and tell me that I'm not wrong. And we might have talked about this too, but there was like no payoff. Like you watched all season, and you got nothing in the end.
Yeah, and that was like I
think your text to me was like, that was it?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's it. You could have had a better ending if you just stopped at the end of season 2.
Yes.
And if the show ended now, I'm just going wow, thanks for ruining the show and then bowing out. Like, good job, Disney. Like, you could have just...
at 123, why? And then the next one, why was that it? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Fucking money.
It was stupid.
It was just dumb. There was no payoff. You got nothing for watching the whole time.
You did get something. You got to have that feeling in your soul where you liked something and it got ruined for you. That's what you got. Good job.
Right. And
congratulations.
To your analogy, this was kind of like the video game side quest. Right? You went off on a side quest. You didn't stick along the main storyline. You went on a side quest, and then here you are.
It's just why? Just why? Why?
Just why?
Why do you have to, you finally have a good Star Wars show, and they go, well, that's not allowed to happen. We spent $4 billion to destroy this franchise. And I mean, I know Andor's out. I still have to watch Andor. Everyone just keeps telling me how good that is. But now I'm expecting Andor season 2, where Andor has to discover,
I mean, again,
Andor goes to the DMV or something like that for 6 episodes, and he just sits there, and that's how they ruined that one. I don't know yet.
Right, that's now what I'm waiting for. Now I'm waiting for Andor season 2 to come out, and
people liked Andor.
Going to be,
we gotta make sure this doesn't stay this way.
It's going to be ruined. Like they're going to make, Andor question his sexuality, right? And he's going to battle all next season.
Oh, he's going to make out with some dude or something. Like there's going to be that fan theory on Tumblr.
Well, have they done? Well, no. Did they do that in? Did they do that in the sequel trilogy? There at some point is going to be some kind of sexual overtone or relationship or something that is in the Star Wars realm.
What they're not allowed, they can't say a character is gay. They can insinuate it with a look so that they can easily cut that out for China, who already hates Star Wars.
Well, Disney did that with Lightyear, right? Didn't they have a same-sex couple or whatever? And they caught a lot of flack for it.
They do that for every one of their movies. Where look at us. We're gonna look at how woke we are.
Right, something that doesn't make sense in the overall story because it's just not important enough to put focus on, but it will be here.
They just throw it in because they want to look like they're really progressive, and then in reality, what they're doing is they're just doing it for those they get extra credit for the smallest audience, and they cut it out for everywhere else because they don't believe in those values at all. They're just doing it because they want to get trending on the interwebs.
Right. Well, I mean, it's successful.
On it. Yeah,
they do.
And then
but it's just, I just don't think any Star Wars fans care. When you hear a Star Wars fan, what stories they want to hear, they don't want to hear about people's romances and all that other shit off camera, right? Like they want to know about the Empire, who's fighting the Empire, the good guys, the bad guys, and then they want to see the action. And this season, they just missed all of that. They gave you shit you didn't care about. I mean, the battle for Mandalore, which all of a sudden, they had to tell you that Mandalore was destroyed, but it really wasn't. And then they had to go, and Bo-Katan had to get all the Mandalorians together again. Okay, they did that. I mean, it was just pointless story after pointless story. It really was just such a super whiff. And to your point, why? Why was that it?
Well, why did you do it? Why did you do it this way, guys?
I have no clue.
On the bright side, it's over for now, I guess, before they inevitably announce, and here we go, Star Wars Episode 3, or Episode 10, Rey takes a dump on Mando and Luke Skywalker's grave, or whatever they do.
Big giant dump, a steamer.
Just Kathleen Kennedy goes on to screen, and everybody, I want to thank you for watching a new Star Wars film now, if you'll please, and then she drops her pants, and you go, oh, let's get the heck out of here. This is just not going to be.
Right, well, now we're just going to have to wait around, because the next thing on the plate in Star Wars world is Ahsoka, and I don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that comes August, I
That's
think
not going to be good, is it?
I don't think so. I don't have any high hopes for that at all.
Remember, I had high hopes for Obi-Wan. I had high hopes for this.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan I liked at first, but that was because I was really just watching the highlight scenes. Which, spoiler alert, the highlight scenes that I was watching were basically all the ones that were using that 2-hour cut.
Yes, exactly. The Patterson cut, I think.
And you're like, wow, this is really good. Yeah. And then you watch the rest of it and you go, wow, this show's got a lot of fat on it.
A ton.
Like a lot. Like you guys can stop at any point, and I'll be fine with this. And they go, no,
or
I don't think so.
You could have just done the lightsaber duel and called it a day, and that would have been fine to do the entire season.
Yeah.
So we've got to dive in. We got to figure out where to go to next as we wrap up here with the Mandalorian. I don't know. We'll have to hit the interwebs and see what's out there. I mean, there is obviously plenty, but we're going to have to pick something out that is worthy of our conversation.
I mean, Shazam 2 to continue the Black Adam conversation. I don't know. I'm sure based on how that movie is performing, that'll probably be out on HBO Max by the end of this sentence.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I mean, there's nothing, I don't know, we'll figure it out, but there's stuff out there. There's got to be something, yeah. I still, Cocaine Bear is out there if you want to spend $20 and rent that at home. Ugh. That one I might want to watch, but I don't know. There's plenty of stuff out there for us, especially TV, because they're coming out with it every single fucking week.
Yeah.
But for Mandalorian, we have all crashed into Mandalore. And
that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Much like the Mandalorian ship that just crashed into the
like
belly
all
of the
of my
planet.
hopes and dreams.
It's just that's where all of our hopes did, like you said. So, all right, with that, we're out, and I will talk to you next week. See you, Willie.
All right. Peace, brother.
Peace.